The American story is an ode to movement. We've never been able to stay put, which explains the intricate mesh of highways and byways that connects this country to its inner self. Is it any wonder, then, that our national cuisine evolved at Tarmac's edge? Let's face it, no matter what sophisticated urban chefs create, deep down what we really crave is what the diner, the cafe, and the truck stop can offer. Alas, the modern interstate has rendered our palates comfortably numb with its rolling miles of paved pablum, and that is a shame, because if we don't savor the flavor of the road, then our edible heritage will soon become history. So America, it is with a full tank and an empty stomach that I say to you in the words of my forefathers, let's ride. So far, the mighty Mississippi has led us from Venice, Louisiana, all the way to Quincy, Illinois, where we catch wind of a Civil War battle reenactment taking place down in Monroe City, Missouri. We decide to hit the road early and backtrack to investigate. The battle is still hours away when we arrive, so we fire up a pot of coffee, which sets me to wondering, how might Rebel Brew measure up against Union Joe?
So we're going to use this as the standard for testing the cowboy coffee available in the camps. So can I sample your coffee? Just a little bite? You put coffee in there, though?
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay.
Couple handfuls.
Couple of handfuls?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't measure it. Whatever the size hand you have is.
Did you brew in the water that you washed the pot last night? Was that?
No, I'm not sure. What water do we use?
The water that we washed our feet in.
Oh, that's right.
Well, so far, I will have to tell you that Bob and Bobby are completely safe in their holding the current title for camp coffee. I don't know if it's the technology or the light hand with applying the coffee. Of course, back in those days, there wasn't a lot of coffee. I mean, soldiers received coffee rations, especially the Union soldiers. And coffee was considered to be in the highest esteem of any of the rations, and often soldiers would trade their food rations to get hold of more coffee. But it wasn't just a beverage, it was used to soak and break up the hardtack that was issued. Federal hardtack was especially infamous for being so hard that soldiers who already didn't have the best dental work around would actually break their teeth on it. And so soaking hardtack in coffee was considered absolutely the way to go. Because there was a shortage of coffee, very often they picked other stuff out of fields, wild chicories and whatnot, which of course are used in a lot of New Orleans style coffees. Became used a lot. Other things, everything to, ground up bones would be put in, anything brown to make coffee. And that certainly is what that coffee tasted like, ground up chicken bones. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good.
I was wondering if I could trouble you for just a very small mouthful of coffee. I'm comparing all the coffee through the camp, see who's got the best brewing techniques.
Coffee maker, so.
Well, that's okay. Whoop. Thank you. It looks more like tea.
Well, what say ye on the coffee?
This is disastrously bad coffee.
Thank you.
Just so you know, but no worse than the rest of the Confederate camp, that's for sure. Pour a little of your coffee in that, and that'll come right off.
Reenactment space being somewhat limited, we find the Union encampment a mere 100 yards due west.
All right. This will be our first comparison to see if Union coffee is indeed better than Confederate coffee, which could not have been more wretched. That's for sure. I don't think this had socks put into it, which is... Now see, that tastes like, that's a cup of coffee. That's an actual cup of coffee.
It'll walk on its own.
No, it will not. It's still, I can still see through it on the edges. It's not as thick as the stuff we make on the road, but this is actual real coffee. I would pay, $1 for a cup of this. I would definitely sign up with this outfit. Well, who are you guys again?
25th Missouri.
25th Missouri. So far, they win on the coffee thing. You're using coffee bags. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a coffee bag. That's cheating. Coffee bags. The entire sense of realism has been destroyed for me.
Yes. And how is the birthday, boy?
Members of the Missouri 23rd, right?
25th.
25th. You have won the Camp Coffee Award. Everybody else's coffee simply was undrinkable. The Confederates were apparently going after the authenticity of using small quantities of coffee bolstered with socks and earthworms for that real camp flavor.
Yeah.
We just wanted actual real decent coffee, and you supplied it. So enjoy this this case of high-end premium chicory coffee. You can sell those on the internet later if you want. Yeah.
Alrighty.
What's the internet?
Yeah. What's the internet?
After breakfast, things got nasty, just as they did on July 10th, 1861, when secessionist troops under Brigadier General Harris clashed rather haphazardly with Union forces under one Colonel Smith. I noticed that the troops are so heavily caffeinated that when shot, they don't even fall down. We considered taking the field with our iron horses, but instead turned back north to do battle with our hunger. To be honest, what I'm in the mood for is a truck stop. And in Taylor, Missouri, we find one, the 18-wheeler, which is reported to serve the country's biggest breakfast. Well, we'll see about that.
Which is the biggest one you have? The biggest breakfast? Because I was told that you had the biggest breakfast in the Midwest.
The 3x3.
Okay,
It's quite
I'm going to
big.
have country breakfast with chicken fried steak.
Okay, you want the large or the small?
I want the large. I want to see it
Okay.
as big as it gets.
All right.
I want a plate of America. And on the side, I want a 3x3.
Awesome.
When Feasting on Asphalt returns, I eat everything.
Country breakfast. This is the country breakfast with the
A
wheat
lot
toast.
of brown in there. And brown toast. I'm glad I got that instead of the
Here we
biscuit.
go with the 3x3.
Got the American, these are the American fries,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yep.
And my country fried, and there's my over easies.
Once upon a time, a truck stop meant any place on the road that offered diesel fuel, bad coffee, and space for a truck to stop. As the trucking industry grew during the war years, entrepreneurs opened all-night eateries to service the drivers, who wore snappy uniforms back then, and even kept mechanics on duty round the clock to take care of the rigs, which were mighty primitive by modern standards. Today's truck stops are like shiny malls offering showers, barber shops, dentist offices, and custom chrome shops. As for the bad coffee, it's been replaced with cappuccino. Believe it or not, Nauvoo, Illinois is wine country. In the 1850s, a group of French utopians called Icarians set up a colony here using the compound left behind by the original Mormons. They soon put their vinicultural skills to work on the local grape varieties, thus sparking an industry that's still kicking today. We dropped by Baxter's Vineyard to get the scoop.
So we're here at Baxter's Vineyard with Brenda, who runs the tastings here. Some unusual wines that a lot of folks haven't seen before, American wines as opposed to European wines. Since I'm operating heavy machinery, I can't possibly partake of the alcohol experience. But Mike, he only operates this, and anybody can do that. So, and he can do it even having done a lot of drinking. So he's going to be my surrogate wine taster. So Brenda, give us the whole 9 yards, and I'll sniff, and he'll drink.
Okay, none of our wines are going to be as dry as your Cabernets and your Shiraz and things like that.
Now, why is that?
That's not the type of grapes that we grow here in Illinois. We grow mostly the American varieties and some French hybrid varieties. The grapes that survive here in Illinois is the ones that's more hardy.
Let's get this guy liquored up. What do you want to taste first?
Captain's White
Sure.
for a semi. This one might be a little bit sweeter.
Almost Sauterne-like
Yes.
in the nose. Yeah, here, let me show you.
Oh, I'm warming it up. I'm sorry.
Don't,
That's right.
you're throwing
yes.
off the esters.
Yes.
And I don't mean an ester. Now, suck in a little air so you get that going up here.
Uh-huh.
So it goes up your nose a little bit. Floral?
No.
Is it musky? Is it woodsy? Is it citrusy? Is it leathery? Is it
Probably more citrus sweet.
straightforward or complex?
Straightforward.
Maybe you should have another sip.
Okay.
Don't tilt back though. That makes you drown. He's from Wisconsin.
Okay.
So this whole, that's better.
It's good. I like it.
Well, there you have it. And that's why, as far as I know, there have never been any famous wine reviewers from the state of Wisconsin. I like it. I'll have another. Do you have any cheese? Okay. By the way, this is the spit bucket.
I won't be using that.
Then in your case, later on, this will be the throw-up bucket. When you get, okay.
Brenda's blush.
Ooh. There are a lot of kind of
Yeah.
sensual overtones in
Yes.
this. Smells amazingly like the last one, only pink. There you
Got
go.
a lot of the
There.
same fruits in it, yes.
Remember, the more air that you get in with that.
All right, here is a deep red wine.
We're already there.
So how many glasses did it take? Well, he didn't have much of the blush, and he had one communion's worth of this. So
Or lusty white. It is a Saval and a Traminette.
you know, go ahead and finish that one.
It's getting better.
Yeah, all the time. Okay.
It's a white sweet made from a Niagara grape.
Now, would you typically sip
Yes.
a dessert wine more than I would guzzle? No, this one.
Yes.
Yes, Wisconsin.
And this goes really, really well with your dark, deep chocolates.
This would be really good after the Packers game.
Now, this is the true Concord.
This is going to remind you of grape jelly because most of
Yes.
the jelly in this country is made
Oh,
from
yeah.
Concord grapes.
Where's the peanut butter?
We make a summer blush, which is a sangria style with your lemon and lime and citrus flavors in it.
Sangria.
Yes.
I agree with the sangria.
Sure
What
you're
are you
not-
giggling
sure
at?
you're not drinking?
I'm not drinking. I'm trying to be with you, though, in spirit.
Thank you. Definitely you can taste the alcohol more in this one than I could in any of the other
The
ones.
bear will want to lay on a case of that before we leave the vineyard.
How about Concord grape juice?
No, that doesn't have any alcohol in it.
No, no alcohol in that one.
Well, that's not much
we don't
fun.
want
to
that.
have.
All right.
We don't want that.
I think you've gone through the gamut of them.
Close your eyes. Is the room spinning?
No, come on. From Wisconsin.
You're from Wisconsin, which means it takes a lot more.
Yeah.
Now, a while ago you mentioned pie.
Yes, we have wonderful pie.
Which way to the pie?
The pie is through the kitchen.
We're going to go to the pie room then.
All right,
Every
right through
winery
the
should
first
have a
door
pie
then.
room.
Don't worry, there's plenty of pie on the way when Feasting on Asphalt returns.
This is Carol. She's the, what do you call yourself? Are you just the pie lady here, or are you the cook?
I'm the pie maker
You're the pie maker. I prefer pie lady. Pie lady
Okay.
sounds a little bit better.
All right.
How long have you been making pies here?
since 1993. I do real well with my rhhubarb pies, and so I made rhubarb pies for you today.
We never turn down pie,
Uh-huh.
and we never leave any pie behind.
Okay, well, that's
It's kind of
fine.
like there was a No Child Left Behind rule, thing that the president has. We're no pie left behind. we tend to leave nothing but crumbs in our wake. I like your crust.
This one here.
I'm going to start with pure rhubarb.
Now, isn't there some potential ill effects from rhubarb if you don't cook it properly?
Actually, that's in the leaves.
In the leaves, but not in the stalk.
Can you give us any tips for your crust? I would love to share some of your.
It's just
Cooking.
a basic crust. I use flour and shortening. I make a big container of it. I use 25 pounds of flour, and it's 12.5 cups of shortening. And I blend that together. I do it all by hand, and then I use ice cold salt water when I mix it up and actually roll the pies. So
Ice cold salt water. How salty?
to 4 cups of ice cold water, I put 3 tablespoons of salt.
Let's swap the apple for the strawberry rhubarb because it's exquisite.
That is staying at this end of the table.
Isn't that awesome? That's exquisite.
Concord grape juice. It's excellent, nice and sweet.
I'm gonna get my church back in Georgia to see if they'll ship this in for communion.
really?
Yeah. What I like about the grape juice is that it's not cloyingly sweet, and then it's got some tannin on the back of it. So it's actually fun to drink. It's really quaint.
It is.
It's refreshing. It has some real great flavor. You know, most of us in this country raised with Concord as a flavor. There's so much sugar added to it that it doesn't even taste like a grape anymore.
Right.
Well, thank you for the history lesson and the wine tasting. How you feeling, Mike?
Good.
You all right over there?
Yeah. I need a little more.
Yeah, I noticed he bumped the microphone against the wall a couple of times. So what do you think of the pie, guys? There's leftover, so.
Can we take some with us?
Yeah.
Having sent Mike off to Nappyland, we head north on Illinois 96. It seems that we're just barely out of Nauvoo when we encounter a sign advertising smoked fish. This is the first time on the trip when smoked meat has meant anything other than pork, so we have to stop and give Quality Fisheries a try. Look at that, fish with a cigar. That's smoking. Out back, Quality Fisheries is hopping. Bins of river fish, some of which are still twitching, are quickly dispatched and portioned by some of the most skilled cutters I've ever encountered, all led by proprietor Kirby Marsden.
I hate to point this out, but your place is in the middle of nowhere, dude.
It is.
I mean, Neota's not even on some maps. Why here? What's so special about Neota?
This is where the fish are. It's a good spot. It got a lot of good natural area, and it's a lot of backwaters and islands that helps the fish when they're spawning out. So there's a healthy population in this area.
So we're talking catfish, which we saw back there. You got a carp.
Catfish is a big item. We have a lot of carp here. We got a lot of
buffalo, which
buffalo
is
fish.
a type of carp, really, big carp.
Right.
What else?
We've got what's called a sheephead. A common name for that's a white perch. A fish here called spoonbill. It's actually a member of the sturgeon family.
Well, I want to try a little bit of everything. Smoked carp,
okay,
some smoked catfish, and the spoonbill.
Okay.
So the spoonbill you always do in chunks like that?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah?
Something like this. Sometimes a little bit bigger chunks.
We don't need too much. There's only 10 of us. I would love to see some local morels. I never knew that this part of the world was morel territory.
Yeah, that's morel mushrooms. Yep. Local morels.
You can always tell a morel because you close your eyes and you smell and you get apricot.
There you go. Yeah.
Smell, you get it? It's just like smelling cut apricots. It's exactly what that. So is this a local? Are there any local ways of preparing these? I mean, you know, us from the city.
You know what we do? We soak these overnight, of course, salt water.
Okay.
About 12 hours, and then just goes into the egg wash, into the flour and breadcrumbs that's been salt and peppered, and either pan fry or some people deep fry. You know.
I know I said no more fried food, but we've got fresh morels for goodness sakes, and we need to show respect to the local traditions.
Well, it's a loophole if we fry them ourselves. You know,
Oh, is that different?
Yeah, that's different. That's different. Legalese.
Is that what it's here? Hold it. Is that what it says here?
If we fry it ourselves, it's okay.
The fried food, the moratorium on fried food only pertains to commercially prepared. Thank you for pointing out the small print. So as long as we fry them ourselves, we can eat all we want. Spectacular. Let's see what we got. Okay, here's the spoonbill. Sturgeon. This would be really good just like in a soup. Or just like make a soup.
You know, some people make a crumble it and make a dip for like potato chips, and
because it is really crumbly.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely crumbly. So it'd be very good in a dip. And this must be the perch. I've got my lunch. What's the best way to go at this on this carb?
Okay, Alton, everything underneath these ribs over here is all boneless.
So should I just take out the rib cage?
Yeah,
the bones are a little harder to deal with when the thing's been hot smoked. Do you do all your fish hot smoke or do you do any cold smoke?
No, hot smoke only.
I didn't do a great job there. We'll have to just kind of.
Is that safety or convenience?
No, it's my preference.
Ooh,
He was trying to jump away. I saw him leap down there.
I like the catfish too, but I think the carp's my favorite.
With our bellies and coolers packed to the gills with smoked fish, we continue north towards mollusks and mowers.
Muscatine, Iowa sits right on the Mississippi River. The river road runs right through it. We are right here, Muscatine. Here's the road. And here's a nice little diner sitting here, nondescript, called the Clamshell. They don't serve clams. We'll get into the name later. What is more important to me right now is the structure itself. Very interesting. I'm excited because the Clamshell is a Valentine. See, it even has its number. Valentine Manufacturing Company, Wichita, Kansas, number 2111. Now, you don't see many of these structures anymore. Valentine Diner Company, or kind of manufactured building company, started in 1947. A guy named Arthur Valentine started it. He wanted to be his own boss, and he believed that in post-World War II environment, most guys did want to be their own bosses, so he wanted to make buildings that would allow them to do that. One of those buildings was the standard Valentine Diner, which could be moved on a flatbed truck, and they were distributed all over the Midwest. There are a few of them still in Kansas, but I've never seen one in this good of condition. Typically, you would recognize a Valentine by the fact that there was only counter service. Most diners, certainly earlier diners, always had booths. They're not the Valentines. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be the classic number with a kitchen at one end, a door. This thing came on a flatbed, completely assembled, pretty much as you see it. It looks original to me.
What can we get you today?
Hey, I'm gonna have a Pearl City dog because a deep fried dog. Ooh, that's fried food. Oh well, it's named after the town, so I'll have
Pearl
that.
City dog.
And a chocolate shake.
And a chocolate shake.
Yeah. Is this your place?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. How long have you been running it?
We opened about 2 weeks ago.
Only 2. This has only been open 2 weeks?
Yeah, for me. It's been open 2 years previous.
Okay.
This is my first season to run it.
Do you know much about the history of the building?
I know a little bit. I've read about it on the internet some and done a little bit of history, but the owners of the place, Ann, she's outside having a drink right now, and she knows a whole lot more.
She's here?
Yes, she is.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go out. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
We look forward to seeing you.
Excuse me, are you Ann?
Yes.
Alton. You're the owner.
Nice to meet you.
Of
yes.
this place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
No, go right
Because you
ahead.
know this is a Valentine. This is
Yes,
a
it
pretty
is.
special find. Do you know the history of this actual building?
Somewhat. Valentine Diner was discovered in a dump somewhere south of Morning Sun, which is southeast Iowa.
The whole thing.
The whole
was just
thing.
in a dump.
In a dump, yes. Rotting away, rusting.
Who found it?
A fellow by the name of Tom Keller here in town.
Uh-huh.
And he dug it out of the dump, brought it back to his house, and restored it. And then started calling my husband.
Oh, hey, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Food, ooh, that's a good thing.
You want some of my hot dog? This is a fried hot dog,
Ooh.
which sounds kind of evil. Go ahead.
Looks good.
So, how did your husband get involved in this?
So this fellow who had restored it kept calling. Well, he caught us in a weak moment one day, and we went and looked at it, and of course we wanted it. So decided to purchase it, and happened to own this parking lot. So it was, an easy place to put it. It was interesting to learn that they started out in the 30s.
Actually, the company went full-fledged in 1947.
Really?
They dabbled up to then, and then after World War II is when things got really big.
Then it really...
And right up until 1975.
Wow. I just
It's
can't
exceptional.
imagine driving around, seeing these on roadsides in little towns, and
All
it must
over.
have been just wonderful, that little slice of Americana that's, for the most part, gone.
Mom? Mom?
No, thanks.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Why would a diner in Muscatine be called the Clamshell if it doesn't serve clams? Well, about 100 years ago, the Mississippi along this section was full of clams. Some of them really big. And actually, they're called clams, but they're really freshwater mussels. And at this size, of course, they're probably not worth eating. But there's another clue to this mystery, which can be found in shells like this, all up and down the shore of the river. Now, what makes holes like this? Well, I'll give you a hint. It ain't nature.
In the early 20th century, most of the planet's so-called pearl buttons were actually carved from Muscatine mussel shells.
The morning of day 20 finds us in Moline, Illinois, right about here. This is one of the most significant sites in American food history because it is the home to John Deere, most certainly the world's most famous manufacturer of agricultural machinery. Now, if it had not been for the genius of John Deere, a blacksmith and son of a tailor, the American heartland would perhaps never have become the breadbasket of the world. How to get off this thing?
The John Deere Visitors Pavilion in downtown Moline is a museum dedicated to the evolution of green machines. Here, kerosene-powered tractors stand wheel to tread with state-of-the-art combines, harvesters, and well, whatever this thing is. It's an impressive display to be sure, but if you really want to understand how John Deere, the man, changed the food world forever, you need to stroll a couple of blocks down the street to the Collector Center, where folks bring their Deere gear from far and wide to be lovingly and skillfully refurbished. I find manager Brian Holst and ask him about the legendary Prairie Breaker plow.
So Brian, tell me, what did John Deere do that was so revolutionary?
Well, John Deere didn't invent the plow. What he did, he refined it. He figured out that it took self-scouring steel to make a plow work in these mid-prairie ground that we have around here.
Self-scouring steel, what is that?
It is very highly carbon, fine polished steel. What he did, he originally took a saw blade, a broken saw blade that had been through many logs and was very shiny, polished it even more, and put it to a moldboard plow shape, and it actually worked quite well. It was lighter and could work through the Midwestern ground so easily compared to its counterpart of the cast iron plow.
This changed everything. I mean, this enabled, gajillions of people bought these things, right?
Very much so. When John Deere was working on his invention or his perfection of the plow, farmers were starting to head back east. They'd given up. They figured the ground could not be tilled out in the Midwest.
So what happened? You took an iron plow and you cut into the ground, and what happened that was so bad?
It stuck. It would not move. The plow would then just kind of halt. The horses or oxen couldn't pull it, and he had to scrape all that material off with a spade or a spatula of some sort, and go again another 5 feet, do the same thing all over. So when this came along, it moved through the ground so quickly, so easily, a lot of people said it was a singing plow, and it was nicknamed the singing plow very early on.
Wow. How much did something like this go for when it was new, do you know?
When it was new, about $20, round numbers.
What's this worth today?
Oh, today I would probably estimate it'd be close to $700 or $800 in this condition.
Wow. Thanks.
You bet.
So this led to?
Led to everything else.
Wow. Do you even still make plows? You don't make plows anymore. Nobody does.
When the feasting continues, produce on the honor system and a quick jaunt to Luxembourg.
Lucked out. We are, I don't know, maybe 8-9 miles south of Savannah, Illinois, out in the middle of nowhere, I think we could say. And there is, lo and behold, a self-serve asparagus field. Here's the pay box. They provide a scale, which you know is accurate, and cutlery for digging as well. These are U.S. Army issue knives. And we're going to get a lesson from our own JC on the proper maneuver for harvesting asparagus, because of course he's French and would know these things. So grab a knife and let's go.
Yeah, you dig around to get the asparagus out.
So JC, tell us the proper way for doing this.
Well, the thing is to get one which hasn't come out the ground big time with the flowers around, you know, like all of those surrounding.
Because if they've gone to flower, they're going to be bitter.
They're bitter and hard. Yeah. Go around it and cut it right here.
Ah, okay. But you're not even going to mess with that one, are you? Too tall?
No, I'll take it.
All right, well, I'm going to wander that way. You see anything, Bobby? See, I'm cutting this. Or just breaking like I did.
The good things about riding motorcycle, it's motorcycle boots. And you can pick asparagus. Et voilà.
Might break the scale.
Yeah, that's £1 right here.
Okay.
But you put the money right here, Bobby.
Is there a bag?
No, there's no bag for $1.
BYOB.
I think you did well.
I cut some, like you said, these are like second growth ones, I think. The thick ones, right?
Yeah.
These are the second growth. And I found some first growth, although I think some of them are going, that's no good. Well, let's see how much it's actually weighed once it was all said and done. What does it say?
5 pounds. See?
Well, I gave him $20, so that ought to do it.
As the sun sinks, hungers rise, and we decide to stop at St. Donatus, Iowa, a tiny hamlet originally populated by immigrants from the fine country of Luxembourg. The only eatery we find is Calme's restaurant, bar, store, and gas station, and it is a lucky find indeed.
Yes?
You gotta try this.
Of course I do, but first I have to turn off my backlight compensation. Chicken livers. How's the sauce?
It's like a seafood cocktail. It's got horseradish, chunks of horseradish in it. It's really good.
Man, those are awesome.
I know.
You know, in the South, they're real leaden sometimes. That's a good chicken.
The liver itself.
The liver itself is very, very good.
Yeah.
Can I have one more?
Yes.
Thanks. The sauces are the same?
Yes.
I have our sandwiches. Clear a space, lads.
The pork tenderloin sandwich is important, of course, because it is the official state sandwich of Iowa.
Back for the noodles? Yeah, look, check this out.
There's the noodles.
Oh, wow. You make this?
Neat.
These are
Yeah.
homemade.
Yep, we make them here.
Wow.
Oh, these aren't good. I'll take them away so no one else has to
they
eat
ain't no
them.
good. I wouldn't eat them.
They're good, huh?
Look what's in them.
All right.
Chunks of cracker.
What's the Luxembourg thing?
It's a Luxembourg thing.
My grandma's recipe.
I love Luxembourg.
Hey, you gotta share some of this. Come on, Mr. Brown. Yeah.
It's my show. Get away. As is true of so many fine restaurants, we have a multi-generational situation here. We have the son, who is the master of the pork tenderloin, and then we also have the dad. Is that your noodle cutter?
Well, this is the way it was, yeah. Now I'll show you what we did. When I first got it, you had to turn first through here, then you had to take them and then run it through here.
Sure.
And here's sort of a picture of the way it was. See?
Yeah, your standard table mount.
And then I told a friend how I wanted it done, so he put a little motor in here and a chain. So you run it through here, and it comes right down through here.
And it gets cut.
And then it gets cut.
Don't let these people find out about this, because that is righteous.
Do you want noodles tonight?
Yes, you got to make a batch of noodles so we can watch this in action. You have to call your daughter?
Well,
I was told you were the master of the noodles.
I can mix them, but I'm going to have her do it.
2 minutes later, Jody shows up to save her dad, Lawrence. Immediately, she dives into the procedure, beginning with eggs. These are in kind of industrial pasteurized eggs, but they're still eggs. Then she adds a little bit of seasoning. She will not share what is in it or how much she's using. Typical. Then a little bit of oil, and then slowly she starts working in all-purpose flour, using the mixer all the time. It is a very, very sticky dough, and she counts out the flour spoonfuls very, very carefully. Obviously, texture is important here. She adds a little more flour, pats the dough out, and then rolls to about 1/3 of an inch of thickness before they are cut for the machine. And the machine, well, it's a thing of beauty. Look at that. First roller, straight into the cutter. Whoever did this is going to get a Nobel Prize. From here, the noodles are frozen, then boiled, and they're brought out and sautéed with butter, salt, pepper, and of course, those saltine crackers. Amazing.
Well, we came to Calmus. We consumed everything at the Calmus gas station, grocery, and restaurant. And we even got a glimpse into the noodle recipe, which we'll try to replicate when I get back to Atlanta. Right now, I've got to figure out how to install some kind of recliner feature on my motorcycle.
when feasting on asphalt rides on the oldest restaurant in Iowa. And that's saying a lot.
Day 21, lunch. We're above Dubuque, right about here in a town called Balltown, maybe a reference to the ball that we seem to be sitting on geographically. More on that later. The real reason we've stopped, besides the fact that we're hungry, Bright Box Restaurant, which the sign declares is Iowa's oldest bar since 1852. Let us join the meal, already in progress.
Of course, whenever my guys are feasting, they're not shooting, so it's up to me to wander around with my puny little camera and do what must be done. That looks awfully good, though, but nope, there will be nothing from the buffet for me today. I've got to shoot. There's Mr. Breitbach manning the bar, and oh, here's some pictures of the Breitbach family from way back. Kind of scary-looking people, but very, very friendly, I'm certain, or else they wouldn't be in the hospitality business. Nice stash there. Then I decide I'm going to wander into the kitchen. Ooh, I finally have a cameraman with me. What a luxury.
This is what they've been doing with their time today. Pies. Who can tell me about the pies?
Right here, you're on a walnut, and you're on peach, you're on a red and black raspberry, you're on blueberry, you're on a rhubarb custard right here.
Rhubarb custard?
To die for. Have that before you go.
Are you going to let me have some?
Oh, absolutely. I may even buy it if you behave yourself.
No, we pay our
Cherry.
way. We pay our way, cherry. Is there any rhubarb coming in fresh yet? Or are you still having to use frozen this time of year?
No, don't touch frozen. Frozen is nasty
So
crap.
you've actually,
It's
was
always
it
fresh.
nasty?
Nasty,
Frozen is nasty
fresh.
crap?
Yes, frozen is nasty
No,
crap.
say it again slowly. I want to hear it.
Frozen is nasty crap. You do not use it in a sauce. Come on,
So do you run the whole kitchen, or are you just the pastry chef?
let's just say they all have to answer to me.
You're the boss, I understand. So your husband, whose family this
Yes.
restaurant's been in for 5-6 generations,
right.
he runs front of the house and the bar,
He basically answers for everything that goes wrong, yes.
and you run the kitchen, you run the back of the house.
And I tell him what goes wrong, that's right. But my help is excellent.
So there's absolutely no doubt on who's in
Excellent.
charge here.
Well, that depends on what you want.
Mike, that's a fierce woman you got in there. She takes no prisoners.
She's the best. She's particular. She's got me, that's why she's particular.
She made it pretty clear that she runs the joint.
Hey, most women do, but most guys won't admit that.
The first step to a happy marriage for me was relinquishing all control, which makes sense. Do you go back and work in the kitchen very
Yes, I
often?
do. Yes, I do. But
You got to get your phone.
I
Go
keep
ahead,
my
go
mouth shut.
ahead. Yeah, I can completely understand why you would do that. So I'm always interested in family businesses, but you guys are somewhat unique in that you've been in family business since 1852?
1861.
Sorry, 1860. Oh, okay, 1861. How has this been possible? What's kept this going for this amount of time? In an age of disposability, how have you maintained permanence? What, are you going to eat some more over there while we're... Okay. I thought maybe you were reaching for some crackers.
I don't know the answer. It just happened that way. You know what I mean?
It didn't just happen that way. It's because his family does have a sense of responsibility to the community. They deeply enjoy where they are and what they do, and not so much him now, but I mean his father and grandfather. You had to be open at a certain time so that you could be of service to these people. It was never for non-profit, but it was also because they knew that they were here. These guys, the community needed them. They brought the cream up in the morning.
It's involved a lot over the years, naturally, because we had a creamery in town. They would bring their eggs up here. They served food, but it was always something that just, you know what I mean, it was here, and it was just...
Everything evolved from it, but it's always community. And
It's changed, like you said, the whole world has changed. All these small towns in rural America, there's no grocery stores, there's no gas stations, but ours never changed.
Yes, it did. We got rid of the gas station.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean? The business is still here. That has changed a lot over the years. You go up and down the road, any place you want to go in Iowa, I don't know where you guys are even from, you go to Iowa, all these small towns, they're dead. They're died, just like you said. There's nothing there. There's no cafes, there's no gas stations, no feed stores. There's nothing there where the people come in, the farmers come in and talk, and like these people here, and talk to each other. You come in and say, geez, it's a nice day. What are you doing today? Are not fishing? Are they biting? There's no such thing as that anymore. Them things are gone. We travel not that much. But you go to a place, you travel along the interstate, you don't talk to a soul in that place. Not one person do you talk to. You go in, you see the waitress 3 times, you don't see the manager, you don't see anybody, and you leave. And that's America now, but we're not that way.
Why isn't this just a dusty spot in the road anymore?
Because you have to.
You
respect people. You respect
So you guys are special because you're more stubborn than most?
No,
is that how you've done
my
it?
dad had a saying. He said, everybody comes in this place, and my grandfather.
The first is the last.
No, it doesn't make no difference who you are, if you're the Pope or the President. Everybody gets treated the same. Nobody's any better than anybody else. You come in, you talk to them about whatever. I mean, you act the way you are. You know, we're nothing fancy. We just talk the way you are. If the President comes in here, he's no better than you or this guy over here, whoever. You're all the same. And that was my theory. And I talk to everybody who comes in this place. Everybody.
Is there an heir apparent to this place?
No, I hope not.
Well, why would you say that? This place has held an entire community together. Why would you not want it?
What we've been through,
But you don't know.
whatever they choose is fine. If we're the last,
It's like this. Rural America is dying. Small farmers. If you look at small farmers, small businesses are the same. You can't force a young man to go in there and say, I'm going to milk 50 cows or 150 cows. You can't force a man into a business like this. You have to love your work. Otherwise,
guilt can't enter the picture.
No.
If I was buying the place tomorrow, what piece of advice would you have for me?
Customer service. Customer service.
And you? I'm not so sure you
Are
agree
you
with
nuts?
that. Are you nuts?
Are you nuts? Are you nuts?
Duly noted.
Okay.
Although I never did score any Breitbach pie, I did devour the fine view from Balltown. Ooh, I hate those guys. Next time, we get in a little fishing, feast on Russian fast food, discover a real smorgasbord, board an authentic diner, and finally reach the end of the line.